Do you want to get better at knowing which items to pick up that you can flip in your resale business on eBay and Poshmark? Well, this is a great video for you to watch because today we're going to be going over the sales in my resale business from the week of May 26th through June 1st. And I have a great mix of a few BOLOs, lots of bread and butter, and some brands that I normally don't buy, but I picked up based off of style that did sell well. And this week of sales was my second best week ever. And if that phrase, second best week ever, sounds familiar coming out of my mouth, well, it should, because a couple weeks ago, that was the title of my video, because back then it was my second best week ever, but this week beat that week out. So now I gotta come up with a different title for this video. If you're new here, hi, I'm JENNYSHANEYFELT. I am an online clothing reseller. What my business looks like is I go to thrift stores, I find inexpensive but high quality clothes, and I flip them on eBay and Poshmark for a profit. Every week I come on here and share with you what has sold, share with you how I titled it, share with you what I paid for it, what my profit was, and at the end I'll give you a breakdown of the entire week's profits. And I'll always share with you anything that I'm learning as I grow. All right, before I show you the first sale, the question that I wanted to ask you today is, what platform do you do the best on? Mine is eBay far and away. I have 21 sales to share with you from this past week, and all but two of them were on eBay. But I do know of people who tell me they do way better on Poshmark, and maybe it's because I don't use a virtual assistant that's constantly sharing my stuff on Poshmark, but I do constantly share my stuff on Poshmark, and I do send offers, but I know a lot of people swear by those. So I think my next experiment in my business is going to be to try one of those out and see how it works, and I'll share the results with you. But yes, I want to know from you, which platform do you do the best on? All right, let's get into these sales. And like I said, I have 21 items to go over, so I'm gonna try to keep my stories to a minimum today, because I know y'all are busy folks and you probably don't have time to be sitting around listening to my stories for an hour. Okay, first we have Talbot's. Talbot's white tiered peasant maxi skirt, women's extra small, boho, hippie, gauzy, cotton, beach. I paid $3.15 for this. I listed it for $33. The buyer offered $25 and I accepted, and that gave me a profit of $17.52, and that was only 17 days into it being listed. Next, we have Ralph Lauren. Women's 1X tunic top, navy blue, 100% cotton, 3/4 sleeve, nautical. I paid $1.49 for this one, and this one came from the bins. It was listed for 111 days. I listed it for $35. I sent someone a $28 offer they accepted, and that gave me a profit of $22.23. All right, next we have Ariat. I don't know, but I do know if you see this, you should look it up because it's a good brand. I titled it Ariat Tech Heat Series, women extra large, stretchy zip top, collared shirt, space dye pink. So one indication that it could be a pickup is that it has branding all over it, which this one did. It has the logo here, the Ariat on the sleeve, Ariat down on the bottom. The zipper had the logo. So if you see that where it's got branding everywhere, you want to look further into it. This one was listed for 73 days. I paid $2.15. I listed it for $38. The buyer sent me a $30 offer, and that gave me a $23.46 profit. Next, we have Pretty Angel. Pretty Angel, before I started reselling, I had never heard of this brand, but I have sold several Pretty Angel pieces, and I can almost pick them out before I see the brand tag now. They're just a real boho, hippie, artsy. I love selling it, and it usually sells well. This one I titled Pretty Angel Women's Large Boho Fairy Top earthy lace, artsy blue linen blend hippie. It was listed for 49 days. I paid $4.99 for it. I listed it for $32. I sent someone a $27 offer. They accepted, and that gave me a $18.04 profit. This piece was listed forever, 363 days. And so when I got the offer, I was super excited. But let me tell you about it. Tahari size 1X, 100% linen, palm leaf, tropical sleeveless top, button tunic, beach. So I can tell by looking right up here on my screen that this was relisted on March 19th, and then it sold during this week. So it sold pretty quick after relisting it, but I originally listed it 363 days ago. I listed it for $29. The buyer offered $15. I accepted. That gave me an $8.38 profit. Okay, next, this one may look familiar because I was wearing this one in last week's What Sold video because it was so cute. I had sold it that day and I just had to wear it for once. But this one was Quacker Factory. Poncho top, 1X, American flag, red, white, blue, stars, stripes, patriot. Trying to stuff all those keywords in that I could. This one was only listed for 7 days and I paid $3.99 for it. I originally listed it for $33, which was a bit above what comps told me to list it at, but I just had a feeling that this piece was special. It didn't sell for full price, but I sent someone an offer of $28, which was still above what comps were telling me I should price it at, and it gave me a profit of $18.24. Next, another piece that was listed forever, 280 days. But it does look like, by looking right here, that I did relist this one in April. It was Kim Rogers brand. I did not put that in the title because I didn't feel like that brand was adding to the sellability of this item. So I left that off of the title and used that valuable title space for more keywords. So I titled it Petite Large Linen Button Shirt, White Tunic, 3/4 Roll Tab Sleeves, Women Minimalist. I paid 55 cents for it at a bag sale. I listed it for $22. I was running my weekend sale. No, I wasn't. It wasn't my weekend sale because this sold on a Wednesday. I was reading my note wrong. I had reduced the price. I initially had it listed for $22. When I relisted it, I reduced the price to $20 and someone bought it at that full price. So I'm going to give myself a little yay. And that gave me a profit of $16.40. All right, next, this was the first time I've ever found High-Low Hattie. I titled it Vintage High-Low Hattie Hawaiian Button Shirt, Women Extra Large, Cropped Boxy Pineapple Floral. You can tell that this is vintage by the paper tag, and I love that it is made in Hawaii. This one was only listed for 3 days. I paid $2.15 for it. I listed it for $22 and someone paid full price. Yay! That gave me a profit of $15.45. All right, next, if y'all saw the video where I had all of those formals piled in the back of my car that I had bought 52 formals for $50, this was the one that I bought all of those for, because the guy told me you can have one for $50 or you can take all of them for $50. So I knew Jessica McClintock Gunny Sacks was a really, really good one. I didn't know how good it would do, but I was like, 52 dresses for $50. I think I can turn a profit on this. So this one, the reason that I wanted all of those, sold in just 3 days. So I was glad that my resale spidey sense was working really good that day. I felt proud of myself. Here's what it looked like. It wasn't the like real boho looking Gunny Sacks. It was just a really elegant, classic black formal. And this was the first one that ever sold using my body model that you can see right here. I have loved this thing, especially for dresses. it has made it so much easier to take good looking pictures of stuff that normally hanging on a hanger would just be like, but I have this body model linked in the description below this video. So if you've been in the market for one, you want to see the one that I got, it links you to Amazon and you can purchase it there if you want to. But so this was just an exciting sale all around. I titled it Gunny Sack's Classic Black Satin Evening Gown. It was a size 3, Jessica McClintock Vintage Formal. So you can see here, if I did not have the body model, this would have been the best I could have done in a picture. All right, so this sold in 3 days. I initially paid $1.50 for it. I listed it for $149. Again, I think I could have gotten that. But I was so excited for my offer. So I did accept the $80 offer. And that gave me a profit of $63.08. Immediately after she ordered it, she messaged me. I'm like, oh my goodness, what's she about to say? Does she want to cancel the order? She did not want to cancel the order. She said, hey, this sold on a Thursday. She needed it for a wedding, not that weekend, but the following weekend. So she was just asking me, could I please send it out the next day, which I did. And then in about 5 days, I got another message from her and she said, this dress is gorgeous. I absolutely think it is stunning, but it doesn't fit. Aww. So she is returning it, but it's going to sell again and it'll probably sell for more. So it's okay. I do have my store set up to where I do accept returns and they pay shipping back. All right. So in a few days, when I get this dress back, if all is well with it, it'll be relisted and hopefully it'll sell just as fast. Okay. Next, I love Skechers comfort shoes. I titled them Skechers Women's 9 Slip-On Shoes Air-Cooled Memory Foam Sneaker Loafer Brown Comfy. I paid $3 for them. I listed them for $25. The buyer offered $18.50. I accepted. That gave me a profit of $11.66. Here is a brand that I had never heard of. Had you heard of this? I don't know how to pronounce it either. Damie, I don't know. But if you see this tag, look it up. My mind was blown when I saw the comps. This is a completely sheer top, and it's like a zipper jacket thing, and it had like a stay put collar. I titled it Damie 175, that's what it retailed for. Artsy sheer mesh zip top. Women's large jacket, stay put collar, abstract. It was listed for 15 days. I paid $4 for it at Goodwill. I listed it for $55 and it sold for full price. That gave me a profit of $43.64. So I would definitely say that this DAMEE is a BOLO for all of us. Okay, next, this one was listed for 172 days. I titled it Chico's Women's Small Tweed Sweater Jacket, Blazer, Peacoat, Fringe, Career, Professional. So you may have noticed that sometimes I put the model pictures in there and sometimes I do not. I used to put it in, if I could find it, I would put it in all my listings no matter what platform. But I got in trouble for doing it on eBay. So I don't do it on eBay anymore, especially since eBay is my largest platform. Like the vast majority of my sales comes to eBay. So I want to protect that for sure. Protect that golden egg. And I have heard from other resellers that Poshmark doesn't mind. So if y'all know differently than that, I would love to hear that from you. But that's why sometimes you see the model in there and sometimes you don't, because I only now put the model pictures on Poshmark if I can find them. So I paid $4.99 for this. I listed it for $33. We went back and forth and we settled on $28. That gave me a profit of $17.41. Next, another brand I had never heard of, Door Couture. Let that one ring a bell if you run across it. I titled it Women's Large Olive Green Velvet Burnout Top, Boho, Fairy Grunge, Cottage Core. It's listed for 196 days. I paid $5.99 for it. I listed it for $29. The buyer offered me $24 and I accepted. That gave me a profit of $13.30. Next, this one sold for the second time, and I don't think I'll be getting it back. I know I won't be getting it back because it sold international. And if it sells international, then from what I understand, if they want to return it, like eBay handles all of that, and I don't know if they actually return it or what, but selling international, you can't have a return from what I understand. I titled it New Lauren Ralph Lauren Large Silk Cotton Button Top Sheer Orange Luxury Money. It was listed for 60 days. I paid $6.15 for it. I listed it for $60. The seller offered me $41. I accepted. That gave me a profit of $37.40. Next, We the Free. I titled it Free People T-shirt dress, women's large, boho, harvest moon, maxi, t-shirt, gray, grunge, sheer. It was listed for 35 days. I paid $3.50 for it. I listed it for $48. This one sold on my 15% off tiered weekend sale that I was doing. And so they snatched it up at that 15% off price. So that was $40.80. And that gave me a profit of $30.39. So do you guys ever run a sale in your eBay? I love it. I have been doing it for a couple months now, every single weekend. And I love it. So if y'all want me to show y'all how to do those sales, let me know. If you don't let me know, then I'm going to assume you already know and I won't do a video of it. All right, next, Lululemon. I titled this one, Lululemon Speed Up Tight Leggings, Women's 6 Heathered Herringbone Gray Luxury. These were listed for 82 days. I paid $4.15. I listed it for $29. I sent someone a counter offer once they offered me something. I don't know what it was. But we settled on $22.18. That gave me a profit of $14.62. Next, Catherine's. I've told y'all before, almost every thrift store I go in around here, I can find Catherine's in the plus size section. And if it's in good quality and it's not an atrocious style, I usually pick it up. I titled this one Catherine's Women's 1X Tunic Top, Purple Embroidered, Floral, 3/4 sleeve, boho, spring. I paid $3 for it. I listed it for $25. The buyer offered me $17. I accepted. That was after 73 days, and that gave me a profit of $11.45. Next, Allie Miles is the brand that I always get excited to find. I don't get a ton of money for it, but they usually sell well also. Now, this one was a medium, and I've heard from other resellers that Allie Miles sells best in the larger sizes. I don't find it much in the smaller sizes, but this one was a medium. I titled it Allie Miles Women's Medium Artsy Button Shirt, Green, Black, 3/4 sleeve stripe, animal, office. It was listed for 63 days. I paid $2.99 for it. I listed it for $35. When I was having my weekend sale, it was 15% off. It was marked down to $29.75, and someone grabbed it at that price, and that gave me a profit of $22.39. Next, Venus. I believe this is the first time I've sold Venus. I titled it Venus Women's Extra Large Boho Fairy Top, Velvet Floral Smocked, Bell Sleeve, Hippie Ruffle. It was listed for 125 days. I bought it for $3.99. I listed it for $32. It was on my weekend sale, and it was 20% off because I do it to where the most newly listed items are not on sale. If they're a little bit older, they're on 10% off. If they're a little bit older than that, they're on 15. If they're a little bit older than that, they're on 20. So this one was on 20% off, and they grabbed it at $25.60. That gave me a profit of $17.04. All right, we got two more. This is One World, and I've kind of been playing with this brand. I do find it a lot, and I feel like it's a very Y2K brand. So I sold a couple One World pieces recently, and they don't sell for huge money, but they're fun to sell, and they've sold fairly quickly. So the jury's still out on this one. What do you guys think of One World? So I titled it One World Y2K Boho Maxi Dress, Women's Large, Stretchy, Sleeveless, Slinky, Hippie, V-neck. So this one came from my mom, so I had no money into it, and it was listed for 27 days. I listed it for $30. The buyer sent me an offer for $22, and that gave me a profit of $17.27. Next, H&M, not a great brand. I have picked up H&M dresses before and made the mistake of not checking comps in the store and got them home, and it was like they were selling for like $7. Like, H&M is not a great brand to pick up, but because of the style, it was a band tee, and it was like worn, like, I don't know for sure that the shirt itself was vintage, but it had that vintage look to it, and so I bought it. I titled it Rolling Stones Rainbow Tongue T-shirt, band tee, retro, double-sided, rock and roll. I paid $2.15. Probably wouldn't have paid a whole lot more than that. I listed it for $19, and it was part of the weekend sale at 15% off, and someone bought it. That made it $16.15, and that gave me a profit of $10.68, and it was listed for 309 days, so I'm not sure if it was the greatest pickup after all. All right, that's all of this week's sales. Let's go over profits. The total that my customers paid for their item plus their shipping was $761.99. The total fees that I paid to eBay and Poshmark was $116.17. The shipping that I paid to ship these out was $128.74. All 21 of these items cost me initially, when I bought them in the thrift store, altogether $67.03, and that brings my total for the week of May 26th through June 1st. My profit was $450.05. Man, I wish I could duplicate that every single week. And I know that I will. I know that it's going to get to the point where I look back and I say, oh, that was so cute, that I was so excited about that. But I am so excited about it. And I hope that whatever you are achieving in your business, that you are so excited about it as well. I think it is so easy for some people to fall into that comparison trap. But I just want you to remember, like, everybody's situation is different. Everybody's starting point is different. Everybody's time is different. And I heard somebody on here the other day, and I know that they didn't mean anything by it. They truly were just talking about the way they felt about their own business. But she had made maybe a little bit less than this amount right here, and she was going on and on and on about how horrible it was. And I just thought, I really wish people wouldn't do that, because then it makes people think that in other people's eyes that what they're doing is horrible, and it's not. I'm so proud of you for taking the bull by the horns and making the extra money for yourself, for your family, for the things that you need that extra money for, want that extra money for, or if it's just the fact of you doing this for a hobby and it gives you something to look forward to and something to be excited about. Don't get caught in that comparison game. My old boss, I used to be a dental hygienist, and she used to say all the time, it was a quote from somebody, I don't know who originally said it, but she would say, comparison is the thief of joy. And that is so true. I think that it is so good for us to learn from each other and watch each other and see what is selling in their business, so that we can learn and we can bring that into our space and use that to grow our businesses. But be proud of what you've accomplished, no matter how small it is. And you know, reselling is going to ebb and flow. It's going to go up and down with the economy, with the time of year, so many factors that affect it. And all that you can do is control what you can do. And your weeks are going to be different from time to time. This past week for me was so busy with the kids, so I didn't get to list as much. So my what sold video coming up next week is probably not going to be as awesome as this one. And I'm okay with that because I know that I took care of my parenting responsibilities first, and I did those well. And this will be there when I can get to it. And I try to be as consistent as I can. I try to get up my goal number of listings each day. And if you can't, don't beat yourself up about it. So be proud of yourself. I'm proud of you, and I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.